is it not stable?
Well, you guys all right?
Ready?
Alright. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about listings and sales, the different steps and things that the realtors can do and the assistants can do. So we'll just go ahead and get started. So the first page is an example of the assistant getting the call from somebody that calls and says, "Hi, my name is John. I'm looking to list my home." Okay, so these are the brief the brief steps, and then we'll get into each one as we go. So first step, so the agent will get a call, the assistant will get a call for a new listing. So the three things that the assistant needs to ask for is the contact number, the address, and their name. We don't want to bombard them with a bunch of things when they call us. If they call the agent themselves, most of the time they will, volunteer information like, I'm now getting a job transfer to Calgary, so I need to sell my house within this amount of time, which is fine. But the assistants will have questions, and we'll get into that in a minute. So number 2 will be then the assistant is to search for lodgings and property online and send that paperwork to the realtor. Then the realtor is to contact the client. You set up the appointment, and you email them your pre-list letter. Then the realtor is to contact the assistant, give them the time and the date of the appointment, and advise the assistant with any information, such as, these people are moving because of a job transfer or divorce, whatever, so that we know not to ask those questions. Then the assistant is to call the client with the pre-qualifying questions for assistant, and then we need to send the client the documents needed form and the if form. Once we're done our form, the assistants, as we fill in everything, make sure that you send that to the realtor. The assistant is to fill out the listing paperwork and give to the realtor. Then the agent meets with the client for the listing. The listing paperwork is given to the assistant to enter. The assistant is to call the client with assistant first call form. And then the assistant enters the listing in MLS and send the client the listing cut sheet. And then the next day, the assistant emails the client the welcome letter. So we'll start off with the pre-qualifying questions for assistants. So it gives you your script, so you can say, this is Erin with the Jerry and Annette Murphy's team. As part of Jerry's customer service, I wanted to thank you for the appointment, and Jerry looks forward to meeting with you on such and such date. In order for Jerry to do a great job for you regarding the sale of your home, I have a couple more questions. Do you have another minute, please? So once again, that's making me feel important. We're letting them know that we're asking for their time. So any of these questions, you may not need to ask them all, but this is just an example of the different questions you can ask. So do you plan to interview other agents for the job of selling your home? Tell me again, where are you moving? Why are you moving there? How soon do you have to be there? And the next one is a big one. If we sell your home in the next 30 days, would that pose a problem for you? All right, because sometimes they may be going, well, I'm going to sell it, but I don't think it'll sell for 6 months. So they need to have that thought in their mind that if it does sell fast, what are they going to do? What would happen if your home did not sell? This is another big one because most of the response I get from that is, what do you mean it won't sell? You guys are the realtor, the professional, you're going to sell it, right? That's what I get, honestly, but they need to know that sometimes the markets change, as we all know, and they get slow, and it's not necessarily your home, but this is a big one that the realtor needs to know the answer for because it's up to them when they're in their meeting to make sure that they talk about the markets, talk about price points, talk about all those things. So make sure that when you get that, your realtor knows. Because sometimes they'll say, oh, well, it'll sell, and I'm not worried about it. And those ones obviously with the personality types, that it's not as bad. The realtor doesn't need to do as much. But if they do come back and say, you guys are the professionals, make sure realtors, you guys go over that with them at every last point. So what is the price you won't go below? Have you ever thought about selling it yourself? Will you quickly describe your home for me? That's a big one for us assistants because I know for me, I don't go into the homes. So just getting a brief example before I go ahead and list it is a big thing. Does your home need any repairs? Do you have any questions before the agent arrives? Most of the response I get for this is, no, I don't think so, but is there anything I need to have at the meeting? And that's when the next two forms in a second will come into play, that we send them out so that they can have them filled out, gather the things beforehand. Just makes it easier for the realtor, and it also makes it easier for us when the home sells. We have everything. Are there any other decision makers? This is a big one too. You might be talking to a son or a daughter, and the parents, they may have power of attorney because the parents are ill. So make sure that you do ask this. Will all of the decision makers be there? And then you can close it with, So number 15, so the meeting today should only take between 30 and 45 minutes, okay? Jerry looks forward to seeing you on such and such time at this date. And then number 16, also, will you have 2 keys available? If your seller comes back to you and says, no, I'm not sure I'll be listing with you, the great response to say, it's great, I only asked that question if you did not want to lose valuable marketing time. All right, and then 17, if what Jerry says makes sense, are you planning to list your home with Jerry when he or she meets with you on that day? Terrific. We need to know that because I need to know that if I need to do up the listing paperwork. And then 18, this is something I don't use a whole lot, but it's just an example. If they are moving out of area, also as part of our customer service, we go on to a network of the top 1% of agents in the country. We will contact an agent for you. If the seller comes back and says, I already have an agent, you can say, great, this is no cost and no obligation. You might as well have 2 agents working or looking for you. Each agent knows of different properties, and I know you would not want to miss out on any possibilities.
Isn't that a conflict of
if they sign with someone, yeah.
If they sign with somebody, yes. But most of the time, like from what I've ran into, is they just got the job posting, right? They don't know anything yet. Or they may say, well, I have a friend in Calgary and they're going to contact somebody for me. So technically they have it. If they say, I've listed with somebody, drop it. Yeah. And say, you know what, no problem at all. But most of the time the response I've gotten is they have not signed with anybody else.
But what you're saying here, wouldn't it be great to have 2 agents looking for you? Isn't that?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just kind of,
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
So anyway, your next piece of paper that you guys have there, it's called Documents Needed for Your Listing. I always put it on a different colored paper because A, I make sure that this is inside the listing package even though I've already sent it to our clients because they are going to have a bunch of pieces of paper and it's easier for them to find this one than anything else because of the color. So this is just an example of some of the documents that they should gather for us. So like your location certificate, occupancy permit, property tax statement and assessment, septic installation, a list of upgrades, any warranties that they may have, leased equipment, water invoices, details on the pool, so like your age, how is it heated. And we always ask too about photos. If we're listing it in the winter, if they have any summer photos, that's great. We can put them up. So it's good to ask them about those, especially if they have like a before and after too, if they've done a lot of upgrades. The roof age of shingles, the shed keys, your mailbox location, all of these things so that we have it. This is going to save so much time on the other end and just put it into whatever you guys use for a database and into your file and you're good to go. And if you guys want a copy of any of this, I can send it to you if you guys want to send it out. And next is the if form. So the biggest thing is you'll get from your clients all the time look back and say, well, how come my house isn't selling? So what we want to know is if I have anybody that's calling me as an assistant, I need to know specific key points about that property without me seeing it. So if to them, when they bought the house, they loved the soaker tub, put that down here on this, okay? So that I know, okay, well, some great features about this house is, the soaker tub. It might be the pool. It might be the fireplace they just put in the bedroom. It's great for those winter nights. There's all of these things that only the seller will know and what made them buy it. So this is a really good form. It's good for the agent. So make sure that this is sent before the listing appointment as well. This is also in the listing package that I send with the realtor too, because if they don't have a printer or who knows what, everything's there. So when the realtor gets this at the listing, make sure that you give it to your assistant. Is there any questions so far? Am I going too fast? No? Okay. So next is your referral form. I put this in the listing packages. Leave it with your clients. I don't send this out at the beginning. But this is something that, the realtor can quickly go over and you just put it on your letterhead and just say, you know what, we work on referrals, very quick, brief little thing, and just say, I'm going to leave this with you. If you have anything, just go ahead and send it back to me. So it's just another marketing for you guys to help you out. But make sure it's in your listing package.
Referrals in what way? Referrals as in they might know other people looking to buy, sell, or invest?
Yeah.
This isn't referral as in here's an agent in real income.
Right, no,
Right.
no,
Okay.
nothing like that, no. I probably should have specified that, sorry. All right, so then next is your pre-list letter. This is the responsibility of the agent. You don't have to do this, but it is actually something that's really nice, and we've received a lot of good feedback back from our clients when we sent this. So it's very simple. You just say, thank you for the opportunity to present my qualifications and marketing plan to sell your property. I think of my clients as individuals with specific needs, and my team and I strive to give you exceptional service. In response to the more challenging market we have experienced over the years, we have become more determined and assertive with marketing and technology. This has allowed us to be very successful in securing results for our clients. As part of my customer service, I have enclosed information for your review before our appointment. Enclosed are the following. You don't have to have everything. You guys can adjust this to what fits you guys better. It's just an example. But basically, when you get off the phone with that client after you've set up the appointment, send this to them. All right? So it'll have, like, your resume, what your team commitment is, your marketing action plan, your track records, references, testimonials are great, and then your market analysis. Okay? And then
the market analysis before the appointment? Now, I know you've got this from your course.
yeah, it just depends. Like for us, we do it a little backwards, okay? Because for us, I'm the one that sends this out. Jerry and I don't have time to send this out.
Yeah.
They don't. So I send it out, so it will have the market analysis in it when I send it to you, okay? And then they go over it when they're there. It's just to give them an idea, let them run through things so that they know who you are, especially if they're looking around. They may be going to look at 4 different people, right? So at least this way they have everything, and I guarantee you not all agents are doing this. They don't have, a lot of them will probably say they don't have time. So it's just an
Jerry
extra
and I
eye.
actually, they're sitting down and spending some time doing a pre-CMA, because I never ever do a CMA.
Not a
before I
pre-CMA. They get off the phone,
Yeah.
they do it, right?
So they do a CMA without even looking through the house.
Yeah, I do that too.
They do
I
some-
use
yeah.
that as much as I
Yeah.
can.
Because when they get there, that's when they'll do, but they want to go in with a price point, they want to go in with every,
So
so.
I go in with a rough guess, but until I see it, I won't give them a number.
I won't give them the number until I'm there, but I have a
That's
CMA.
what I'm-
No
Yeah.
final number.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But that's what I'm just saying, you're doing a CMA, so you do a rough 1-page, 2-page, whatever.
It's very simple, it's
Thing.
nothing big, no. Because you gotta think too, we don't wanna send them anything that's gonna be too complicated, that they're gonna be calling and going, well, what does this mean, what does this mean? We just want it very simple, straight to the point, that they can read through, and then Jerry and them will come with their full and go through everything. Go through the house, take measurements, do all these things. If you walk in, they might say, you know what, hey, I redid my basement. That's great. You walk in, half the wall isn't painted, the trim's not on. That's not a finished basement, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
you need to know certain things, right? But this has come back and has been very positive.
No, I love the
Doing
letter, I'm just wondering what the CMA, that's the only one I.
It depends, and each one has their own technique too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you do whatever works best for you guys. Okay, so then the next thing is the assistant's first call. So after the agent comes back to you and says to you, hey, I've set this up, the appointment up, then this is what we do as the assistants. We will then call. We'll already know the seller's name, the address. We may not know their source of business at that time. That's okay. You get your emails. And normally by this point, Jerry, Annette, or Melissa can tell me just by talking to them where their personality falls. Okay? They've been doing this a long time. They know, right? So anyway, I'll start out and I'll say, good morning. This is Erin with Jerry and Annette Murphy's office. Jerry asked that I call you as part of our customer service and introduce myself. I am the listing manager, and I will be handling all the paperwork. Did you receive my card? Okay? Now, what I do, I don't have an actual card. I just have a normal through Word. Just have my picture on it, a little brief about myself, like, really tiny, and I'll email that to them. Okay? So to me, it's not my card. I know other agents or other assistants have their cards. So you will send those out or put it in with the listing package or whatever. Okay? So you may not need to use this line, but I included it because that's what I sent to them. Okay? So make sure that you're checking off these as you go through on your call. So right here, I'll say, great. I work Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I will always be available for your questions. So right off the bat, I've already talked about my business hours. We've already mentioned about the business card or your sheet that you send out. Then I'll go in and talk about my Friday's call communication. Last week I talked about, I send out my weekly report. I don't call every single one of our listings on Friday. I email them their weekly report. There are a couple of our clients that we have that are older that don't want to use a computer, so I will call them. All right, so make sure that you talk about that. For you guys, it might be a Monday that you do that, or whatever, but for me it's a Friday. Then very briefly talk about how the showings and the feedback works. So just say, when we get a call for a showing, we will contact you, let you know the time, and you guys can let us know if it's a good time or not. Once we receive the feedback, we will get it to you. Okay? You got to remember they only pick up 25% of what we say, and the next page will outline a lot more where they can read it and actually have it. Then just talk really briefly about your website that you have, where it'll be listed. So the sign, once we have your listing, we will go ahead and we will order you your sign. It'll be there within a day or two. MLS printout once it's listed, like just very briefly. You don't even need to talk about all of it if you don't want to, okay? But it's just very brief. And then you can say, I will call you weekly on Fridays. I don't say a time, to give you a market update. And then you ask them, like, what phone number would you like me to use? Or what email is better for you? Some of our clients will say, for showings, I want you to email my home. But for this, I want you to send it to me at work so I can look at it while I'm there. Okay, so great. Also, as part of my job, our business is based on referrals. Do you know anyone that could use our services? Thank you for working with our team. We appreciate your business. Is there anything else I can do for you at this time to help you out? Great. Have a great day. So it's just a very simple call. So then next, so once I'm done this call, chances are that Jerry and Annette will then have their meeting, like let's say the next day. So they're going to do their measurements, sign all the paperwork, and then I will get that paperwork back. So once I get that paperwork back, and I have put everything through, not that day, the next day, I will send them this letter that we have, okay? Because it's too much, because once I have the listing in, then I'm sending them their MLS sheet to look at just to make sure there's no mistakes. I don't want to bombard them with too much stuff, okay? So then the next day, I will send them what we call a sample welcome letter for listings. Amy, I think we got this example from you, Jerry did, because I didn't know exactly how to write it, so this will be really familiar to you, but this is an example that we got from Amy.
How did you get it from us?
Jerry got it. He sent it to me. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, I used what you had and we changed it to fit us, but I wasn't really sure how to do this. Before this, I was only ever doing accounting and stuff, so this is all new to me. So anyway, here's just an example. You can change it to fit your needs. Like, we don't have anything in here about .loop. We're not there yet as a team to put anything in there yet, okay? But anyway, so just really brief, just say, we would like to take this opportunity. Thank you for choosing Jerry and Annette Murphy's team as your listing agent. We are delighted to be representing you and sincerely appreciate the trust you have put in us. Every member of our team will remain committed to you, our client, and the successful sale of your home every step of the way through final closing. And then you introduce yourself again. You just say, my name is Erin, and I am the executive assistant for the team. I'm available 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday at this number. This is our email. I'm responsible for all related marketing and advertising on your property. I welcome your calls and emails, and my goal is to respond to your message within 24 hours on weekdays, if not immediately. At this time, you're in the process of listing your home on the MLS and preparing marketing material. Your sign has been ordered, and the photographer is booked. Your home will appear on the daily bulletin of our MLS, which is accessed by over 1,200 agents in HRM alone. Feature packages containing valuable information for buyers viewing your home are in production and will be delivered to you within a couple of days. Please ensure you display the packages in a visible location, such as the kitchen counter for each viewing. You may wish to leave a few out each day as you leave the home in the event viewings are scheduled while you are out. You may also refer back to the tips your representative provided on how to best represent your home to buyers. As soon as a request for a viewing is made, Jerry, Annette, or Melissa, or myself will contact you for permission to confirm this appointment. Following the scheduling guidelines you may have already discussed, please keep in mind that it is customary to allow the viewing agent 24 to 48 hours to respond with feedback. As soon as that feedback has been received, you will immediately receive an email or phone call. Also be assured that no one will enter your home without your permission, even us. And then if circumstances arise such that the viewing agent does not respond to the multiple feedback requests I send them, Jerry, Annette, or Melissa will personally call that agent to follow up. We will do everything we can to get you the feedback. Please but please remember sometimes the viewing agent does not respond. Jerry, Annette, or Melissa will always be reachable by phone, fax, or email by other agents to assure that anybody wishing to view your home will have the opportunity to do so. These agents expect confirmation of their appointment within the hour. Therefore, please ensure you have provided us with the most efficient means of contacting you. Please note that when an offer is received on your property, there will be a short timeline in which to respond, and this often includes evenings, weekends, and holidays. If you are planning a vacation or going to be unable to communicate with us, please let us know in advance and make arrangements as necessary. Scheduling of viewings and offers to purchase supersede all else. Other items that are not time sensitive will be most efficiently dealt with Monday to Friday during regular business hours. Once your home has been listed for 7 days, I will contact you on a weekly basis. I put in brackets Friday. By email, by providing you with a weekly report. This report will show you all the places we will be advertising your property. It will also show you the number of times a realtor or someone from the public has viewed your property on MLS in the past 7 days. Please keep in mind your home is advertised every day on our websites. It takes about 72 hours from the day your home is listed to show up on the websites, which include, and I listed our websites, and then I just say, please contact me with any administrative issues you may have, such as low supply of feature packages or a for sale sign that is blown away in the windstorm. So it's just very basic, but this is where that 25% comes into play. Say, so you call them, you go through it, you're emailing. So it's call, email, call, right? So the next day I sent this, and then I will follow up the third day just to say, do you have any questions? Is there anything you don't understand? Right? And then that way we know everybody's on the same page, everybody understands things. And normally a lot of questions will come up with this. Like the last, well, do I have to take my dog with me? Can I leave my dog? Those kinds of questions, especially people who have never sold a property before. So are there any questions? No? Am I going too fast? No? Okay. So next we're going to talk about the 3-week honeymoon of communication. So this is what you follow. So during your week 1, the assistant to call within 24 hours of receiving the listing. It's the 3 o'clock rule. If the listing is presented to the assistant before 3, a call will immediately be made to the new listing or the seller. After 3, then the assistant will call the following morning before 10. And this is where the agent doesn't call you before 11, because you have a lot of things that you need to cover before 11. Thank you for the listing letter is to be sent within 48 hours. Assign buyer agent to call and preview within 48 hours and leave the card. For us, our buying agent is Melissa. She goes to all the listing appointments with Jerry, so we never have to worry about that, but some other people in teams may need to do that. The agent is to call and thank them, and then ask for referrals within 5 days of listing. That's another reason why you need that form. They may have something, so you touch base with them then. So email copy of the MLS printout to the seller. Send to both the husband and wife. It could be separated, you don't know. Send the PDF or a hard copy. Get the seller's preference of the listing agreement. Jerry always leaves them. We fill out the paperwork, and it's great, so he just leaves them that copy. But I always send them another copy so that they have it. So ask them what works better for them. And then week 2, the assistant is to call the seller and review the MLS printout and disclosures, check for mistakes. Then you email them the links to all the websites the home is advertised on. The assistant is to call and review any showings, including feedback or the lack of showings. The assistant is to call the seller every Friday with market statistics and updates. The assistant is to send out 250 or whatever number you guys have to I know, I'm trying to talk, like, it depends on which area they're in, right? I mean, if it's only a small little street, you're not going to need 250, okay? Letters to the neighborhood, and then the assistant is to send out a copy to the seller so that the seller knows that you did this, okay? Then week 3, this is something we don't do in week 3.
When you say you send out the 250, and it's probably might be just being ignorant, to the neighborhood, how do you get those addresses, or what do you do? Just like, oh, you do the mail out?
We do the mail out, yeah, it's based on the postal code, right? And it'll tell you how many is within that area and you send it out. Or what you can do is do them yourself and go knock on the doors and do it. Some agents do that, right? Shake their hand. Might be something you guys can do, I don't know. We don't do that though, we just don't have time.
You just do it on a mail out based on the postal code?
Yeah, same as sold cards, it's the exact same thing. So then week 3, like I said, we don't do this on week 3, but it's something that we're going to start changing around, especially within this market, and it just depends on the market. But they say that you should do a new CMA and send that with your monthly statistics, okay? So like for me, it would be on a Friday, but we're discussing about this and stuff because this is where the price reduction, we're trying to get a hold on it. You want to be one step up. Do what you can as a realtor. This is what we're doing, sellers, to get all this sold. You'll go through a list. But anyway, for us, we're looking into this, so I don't really know how that works. Does it work well? I don't know, okay? But it might be something you guys can do. So then also send a copy of the plan of action, which we'll go into, with the check marks that all items are completed prior to the assistant calling about the price reduction. So you'll have a list of all the things, the realtor, when they go, they'll say, these are things we're going to do. We're going to have it on these websites. We're going to have it, we're going to do an open house for the next 2 weeks, those kinds of things. Once you have everything on there that's done, that's then when you can go back to them and say, we've done everything that we wanted to do in this time period. Here's what the price reduction is. But make sure that you have all of that before you make that call. And then the assistant is to call on Friday on the 3rd week for the price reduction. All right, so then for the seller side of it, the introductory call from assistant, so you say congratulations, your contact information for the assistant, so you give them all of that so they have it. Then you do an email from the assistant with contact information and hours available. Congratulations letter sent from the realtor. Even though it hasn't sold yet, they have an offer. It's accepted for right now. Congratulate them on it. Send them something. Copy of executed contract in PDF or hard copy, whatever the seller's preference is. Call to the selling agent with update on sale, opening from assistant, and contact information of their assistant, because the assistants need to contact. Assistant to call and touch base regarding contract and the next steps for contingency removal. And then a call from the realtor. Congratulations. Yes, you send them a letter, but call them. Week 2, assistant to call, setting up times and confirming times regarding home inspections, appraisals. The assistant to call and set stage for negotiating repairs. I don't do that. I'm not licensed. I don't do that. Jerry and Annette do all of the negotiating if anything comes up with inspections and things, okay? The assistant to send email update to the selling agent, and then send the remember to notify form, which we'll go over. And week 3, the home inspector report information, so send that to the seller. The assistant to call and negotiate all repairs, once again, that would be more Jerry and them. The assistant to sell copies of contingency removals to the seller, and then a congratulations letter sent with confirmation of the move-out date. And the assistant to send just sold cards to 250 neighbors and send copy to the seller. Thank you note from the realtor to agent who sold the property, and then a call from the realtor congratulating them and once again letting them know that everything's been removed, your house is now officially sold. We've been following most of this, and we have noticed a huge change in our testimonials and just the things back from our clients. They really like this. They love that it's a call, email call. They just really feel that they are part of it the whole way through and they know everything that's going on. The biggest thing you don't want is somebody to call and say, I feel like there's a lack of a communication. So because of this, we have tightened up a lot of things for us, okay? So if you do follow it, you'll notice a big difference. So here's your plan of action. It's just an example. Obviously, you would need to fit it to what you guys do. So it would be submit your home to MLS and a copy to you for your approval. Submit copies of your listing to our sales personnel on the team, depending on how many you guys have. We only have a couple, so we don't need to do that. Price your home competitively and expertly. Promote your home to the top agents in the area. Promote property through our websites. Develop the comprehensive list of features and benefits of your property for cooperating agents to use with their potential buyers. Suggest and advise as to any changes necessary to make your property more sellable and ultimately net you more money. Contact over the next 7 days all buyer leads and past clients for their referrals and prospective buyers. Buyer agents on the team to review the property. Pre-qualifying all prospective buyers with a lender. If you have a buyer, ask them, are you already pre-approved? Promote your home to any showing agents, pointing out all the features and benefits. We have a database with more than 3,100 prospects and will look for a buyer for your property. We use Top Producer. We have a lot of contacts in there. You guys may not have that much. You guys may have a lot more, but we do go through that to see if there's anybody, hey, they said they wanted to be selling or buying in the next 6 months, so we'll go back through that. Contact 200 plus potential buyers in your surrounding area by phone and mail, notifying them of the property. Take 25 color photos for marketing through our website and make a color brochure for your property. Do you guys do feature packages and stuff, leave it in the house and stuff? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Aggressively seek out agents with buyers to switch to your property. Provide exposure through a professionally installed sign and lock box, and deliver your check from closing. All right, so your guys' plan of action can change, add whatever you want with it, but this is what you should go over with them. This is what you will do, and once you have everything done, that's when you guys will talk about price reduction and those kinds of things. Okay, so words of wisdom. So let your home smile, welcome to potential buyers. This is something we put in our listing packages to leave with our clients, because a lot of them will say, well, what can I do? You've been through my house, like, what else can we do other than price to sell our house? So here are just some examples. I won't read through them all, but we'll just go through a couple. So first impressions are lasting. So the front door greets the prospective buyer. Make sure it is fresh, clean, and scrub looking. Replace doormats if needed. Keep lawn trimmed and edged, and remove debris from the yard each day. Make sure that the first impression from the exterior of your home is a great one. All right, like fix the faucet if it's dripping water. So it's just a couple of examples, like I said. I won't get into everything, but it is good to leave with them. And especially go over about like the pets too, because that is one thing that we constantly get. Do I leave my pet? Do I take my pet? All right.
Do you have electronic copies of this?
I have electronic copies of everything, so I can send it to you guys if you guys want to use it, change it, whatever you want to do, okay? Yeah, just let me know. And what I'll do is tonight I'll just send it all out to everybody anyway.
Can you send one to me too?
Yeah, absolutely. I just need your email address. So make sure that I have that before you leave.
I'd love to print one off today for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just some good ideas and tips and stuff, right? You know, to have, and you might think, well, I'm not using any of it, but at least you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing is, this is something we have just started to do. I don't have a whole lot of feedback on it for you yet, but this is the home appearance checklist. This is another thing that we think would be really great to leave with our clients when we're there, because us as realtors, we're in a number of houses, right? They're not, they don't know what, and the first thing we'll ask is, well, how does my home compare to the one that's up the street, right? So anyway, this is just something to take with you. We're putting it in our listing packages now. Not everything's going to apply. If they don't have an air conditioning unit, you're not going to know, right? But anyway, it's just a few things to go through, like check it off if it's okay, because it seems to you that it needs work, and any comments you can tell them about these things. All right, like, you know, your mailbox and keys and patio slab, I don't know, just a bunch of things in here, okay, which is really, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of feedback on it, but I think it'll go over well with our clients. Like the carpet is another thing. Some people, to them, they may say, you know what, oh, well, it's just a tiny little stain, I'm not worried about that. But to the potential buyer that's coming through, it could mean a lot to them, right? So just make sure that you really do go over these things, like the baseboards and trim. Like I said, you might go down to the basement and there's no trim on it. Get some trim on it to tell them. Because they're looking at us to be able to tell them all of these things and to get it done. So, yeah, so that's that. So, the next thing is, do you guys have the conversation log next in your paperwork? All right, so this here, I am now sending out with Jerry whenever he goes anywhere, because it is classic sometimes that the next day I'll get a call and they'll go, yeah, I'm just calling with feedback from the showing I did yesterday at such and such property, and I won't have a sweet clue if there was a showing there yesterday. So I'm giving this to Jerry to take with him wherever he goes, same for the realtors. I know you guys are busy, you're driving your car, you have your Bluetooth going on, you don't have time to jot anything down. Very briefly, if you get to an office, you get somewhere, and you remember that call, just write it down, and then send it to your assistant later on at the end of that day, so that we know. Because if there is a showing like this, and I didn't know about it, and the client calls me the next morning going, did you get feedback from the showing yesterday? Nope, didn't even know I had a showing, right? So I got to cover that kind of thing, right? But it's just a really good thing to keep the conversation between the agent and the assistant. We need to know what's going on, and that way, when he sends it to you, you can also then transfer it and put it right into the file, so that you have another word, another, you know, oh, well, I guess that depends. Do you guys use Top Producer to keep track of your databases and things? Do you guys have a database, anybody?
Yes, CRM is MarketView Pro or EH, that's what
Everybody uses. Okay, so if you get a call from a client and they're talking about, like, do you guys document all your calls, all your communication that you have with your clients?
Some, not all.
Some, not all? Okay. We document everything and I put it in top producer. So I will put this in the file, but I will also make sure the top producer has it. So if Jerry gets a call and it's, I'm going away for 2 days, and he'll let me know, then I put in top producer and I put it in the file as well, okay? But anyway, this is just a really good thing to keep everybody communication fast. It's great. So yeah, just try and use it if you can. It's just an example. If you want to use it, use it. So I don't think you guys have this in your next, and that's fine. So what I've done is I've done a weekly listing update. And for us, we have a number of listings, and it kind of seems that every time we turn around, we check the logics, we got 5 or 6 that are all expiring on the same day, right? So what I've done is I have actually taken the price reduction chart that they had in this, and I've combined it. So I have 2 sections. So basically I have, you can put the seller, the address, the postal code, the price reduction date that we will now try to be doing every 3 weeks, okay? And then the current price that it's listed at, the listing date, the expiry date, the original price, and the days on market. I send this to Jerry and Annette every week at the end, on Friday, at the end of the day. So they can say, okay, property 123 Street is now going to expire next Friday. Ooh, do I need Erin to do up that amendment? She can just send it, or do I need to meet with them? So they can plan their next week. It's a very valuable tool because, like I said, Jerry, they don't have time to go and check the logics and everything else. So I keep track of all of those things. You can use this table. You may not. Maybe you guys have your own system. But I think it's really great because now we're not missing anything. We're not, it's not the day of and going, we got to contact them to get them to do this. And they move you away, you don't know, right? So it's just another thing to keep you guys all organized and on track. It's up to you if you want to use it. I can send it to you if you'd like. So it's just a little example. Do you want me to send it around or, yeah? Yep. All right. Just take a look. You don't need everything that's in it. You can change it around, just a little graph. How are we doing for time? Okay. So we may not get through everything today, but that's okay. All right. So the next thing is a sale in process checklist. Once again, personally, we don't use all of this. This is the example from the class, okay? But basically what it is if you have your buyer, you want to know who their lender is, like who are they using, so that we can send the information to them. So you can fill that in. All right, it's just organization, right? And then their financing, so the amount of the deposit, when are we going to receive it, where is it to go, do we verify that we have it, and then the seller. So did you send your congratulations letter? Is there signatures on all the contracts? The assistant call and and introduce procedures. So what to expect during a sale, has all this been done? And then you can list all your deadlines, like the septic, the home inspection, when are they scheduled for, right? And then, so the deposit received, counter offers, date accepted, counter to counter date accepted, all paperwork back and signed, property inspections, do you have your permits? It might be a lot. Your water and septic inspection, your brochure box, your lock box, have you picked that up? Are you leaving it for the final walkthrough? Your move card, do you have their new address or contact information? For us, we send out Christmas cards. It's very important that we have that, so I'm not, in November, trying to reach out to all of our clients. Is your sold rider up? Does the bank have to have an appraiser in? If so, when's the appointment? Your loan approval, do you have that all done? You call, you order your sign down, your riders. When is the final walkthrough scheduled? And then the final sign off. And then your final close. So you report it sold on MLS. A thank you letter goes to the seller. It goes to the buyer. Thank you letter to the other agent. By the way, the other agents love receiving that. And if you don't want to necessarily do a letter and you just want to send them a really nice email, hey, it's now finally closed, it's done, thank you for all your hard work. It's been a pleasure working with you. That goes a long way with other realtors. It really does. I mean, think of if you receive it on your end, it's nice, right? So just try and do something if it's not necessarily if you want to do a letter, okay? Now, this is another one here. We don't do this, a thank you letter to the lender, but in our class, they said it was something that was very valuable to them, sending it out to them, okay? It's up to you guys. Just sold cards, do you have them done? How many do you need, depending on the postal code? The agent is to ask for referrals again. The closing statement has been sent out and put it in the file. Client survey, sent and received. We'll go over that in a second. The moving card filled out. Make sure you have all of that in your file for the new address. Remove everything from the internet. so like your websites and things. For us, we will leave it on the website but change it to sold and advertise it for about 2 weeks or so, and then we'll remove everything. Update your sold records. The agent is to review the client survey, and then make sure that you enter in your forwarding address, okay? So, next, we'll just go over the survey really quick. I hope we have enough time to do this, I don't know.
We're almost done.
Yeah. Yeah, we should be okay. Thank God. All right, so the survey. Do you guys send out any surveys at the end of a sale or at the, no?
I call and talk and follow up with my clients.
That's just as good.
Yeah.
That's just as good. It's completely up to you.
Yeah.
This is just an example of a survey that you can send out. We're just starting this now. Normally Jerry and Annette call them and talk to them before, but sometimes in a whole lot of time now. So this is why we're going to try and do it this way. So basically you just send it out and you say, congratulations on the successful close of your home. I am pleased to have been of service to you and hope to help you with all your real estate questions and needs in the future. Your opinion is important to me, and I appreciate you taking the time to complete this survey. This will enable me to constantly improve my customer service. On a rating scale of 1 to 5, please rate your experience in the following areas. So they can just go through what you think of our knowledge, listening skills, problem solving, availability, enthusiasm, communication, general conduct, efficiency, source of information, and then it's a couple of questions that you're going to ask them. So what did you like best about working with me? What did you like best about working with the team? What areas could I improve on? What areas could my team improve on? Would you refer your family and friends to me? May I use you as a reference? Is there anyone you know, or you know now, who could use my services? And then at the end, we always want to thank them. So like I said, we're just starting this now, so I don't have a whole lot of feedback on that either. But it's just...
Are people actually filling them in and returning them?
Well, we've just started doing this within the last week.
Right.
So we've just sent them out. We haven't received anything back yet.
I bet you get more replies if you do it via email.
Well, that's what we're doing, send it through email.
Oh, okay.
And then you just open it up and, like, it's just a Word document,
Okay, cool.
and they can just go ahead, right, and do it. Yeah. I'm just wondering if maybe I won't get into the open house, and we'll do that next week. That's the checklist. All right. All right, so let's just read through the open house tips really quick. It makes the most sense to hold open houses when the market is hot. Select only those homes with great curb and market appeal. Post at least 20 signs advertising the open house. Know the competitions and available properties in the area. Knock or call at least 100 of the neighbors the week prior to the open house to invite them in.
100 of the neighbours.
Well, they might be on a street of 5. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't know,
I
right?
was going to say, these guys operate in Fall River. There's no way they're doing 100.
Well, no. And this is an American course too, right? You know what I mean? Like,
They love fun.
right?
No, I
Like
don't
it's,
think they do at all, no.
no, like it's hard, right? But like, I mean, if you're there and you got 3 right around you, knock on them and say, you know, hey, I'm doing an open house.
Yeah,
Something
we
really
tend
quick.
to, up here, we tend to do 10 left, 10 right, 20 across.
Exactly. There you go.
That tends to be the rule.
Okay, so bring the neighbor call list to the open house. You don't really need to do that. Don't use a guest register as a way to get visitors' phone numbers. Instead, work for it, ask questions, build rapport, try to set the next appointment when you are speaking with them at the open house. That appointment should be set for the same day or next day. There is in this course a guest register that, it's an example, that some of them used down there when you come into the house. During the course, there was some great feedback and there was terrible feedback from it. Some people that came in said, I'm not signing that, and had literally walked out of the open houses with it. Other people were no problem, but they may only leave their name, not their phone number, and things like that. So I'm really not sure how good that would work here. I don't know. All right? But it might be something to leave out
It varies.
to get something. Exactly, right?
It's on the realtor, how they,
Exactly, how they sell it and do it.
you could always say for security reasons, the clients want to know who's coming through their home.
You could do that. But then when you go to, say they really like the house, you're going to call them kind of thing, I guess. I don't know, but you could. It might be something to do for that.
Insurance, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just find a way.
Yeah.
So holding open houses should be considered a bonus activity over and above the prospecting schedule for the week. The open house hours should not count as prospecting time, but you can count the contacts you make. All right, so. And anyway, so next is just like your open house checklist, some things that you can do when you go. You know, like place your open house sign, and make sure that it's also, like, you advertise in the newspaper websites. Ensure owners have a list on preparing the property for the open house, so, like, make sure your floors are done, everything's put away. Check supplied flyers, brochures, and prepare reorder if needed. Send the open house invitation to, you know, other realtors within our company or within others. Door knock 20 neighbors. Call the neighbors regarding the open house. Prepare CMA information. Have copies made. Not sure if you guys want to do that or not. You may with other homes within the area just to have there in case somebody asks. Take adequate supply of the flyers. Take copies of the listing. Take copies of floor plan. Take your laptop and copies of a purchase contract. You never know. Better to be prepared than underprepared. Take adequate supply of business cards. Here's where it says, like, take copies of your guest register. You guys decide if you need that or not. Make sure you have clipboards and pens, because you might be into a vacant home. You don't know. Ensure all lights are on, the blinds are open. Ensure owners have valuables put away. And then for the cleanup, like, leave your explanation, note of today's activities, collect all materials brought in, restore house to original state, remove your open house sign or rider. And yeah, just a little checklist to have. And then here are some questions, really quick, that I like to ask. I'm starting now with it. So when I go back to an agent before, it was just, you know, email them and say, you know, can you send us your feedback? But right now in this particular market, at least for us, what we're noticing is they're asking us, well, what would they want done to the house to buy it? Like, where do they think our price should be? So they're asking, like, our clients are asking us these questions. So since they're asking us that, I'm now going to turn around and ask it to the realtor. So I'm just going to ask them 3 particular questions, like, would your client like to buy the home, you know, at 123 3rd Street that you showed on such and such date? They'll either say yes or no. And if they say no, so then what would it take for your buyers to want to make an offer? It might be straight up, you've got 4 kids, it's only a 3-bedroom, we don't got enough. There's nothing you can do about that. Or it might be, you know what, we really did not like the colors and we didn't like, you know, the countertop that's in the kitchen, that's outdated. Those are things that the seller can fix and do. So we're going to be asking those questions and stuff, right? It just helps with our clients and it helps the overall, I guess, to make them feel a little bit better.
Assistants do that?
I do that. I ask this stuff, yeah. We value your opinion. At what price do you think the property will sell? And that's more to just the other agent, because they may have another property in the area and say, you know what, we think it should be below 320. Or, you know, and let's say it's at 370. You don't know. So anyway, it's just some questions to ask, but our clients, this is what we're noticing they're coming back and asking us about. So yeah. So anyway, that's the other day. Thanks guys.
Really informative, and you put a lot of time and effort.
Trying. It's a lot, but as long as you guys find that it's valuable, like you guys can use it and stuff, then that's what I want. And that's what I found when I took the course was that, like I said, I came from accounting. I did admin, but I mean, I've never done the real estate side. So to me, everything in here was like, whoa, right? But, you know, for some of you guys who've been doing it for a while, you might not. And that's what I was worried about doing the course. Going, I don't know if they're going to find it valuable or not.
Oh yeah. No, it's, I mean, you can cherry pick, obviously. But
Well, yeah, it's like you take what you can from it, right?
really good
And keep you really organized. Keep your system very organized.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah, because that's what you want. And the other is just, it's the communication, right? Like, you've heard it from our clients, you know, before. Like, we feel like there's a lack of communication. Not anymore since we've been following this. It's kind of like, hi, Erin, yep, coffee yesterday, no. You know, like, nothing's changed with this, and yet we were able to get that. But it's built such a good rapport, especially for me with our clients, that it's huge. So, and they'll call me, they'll just call me, or they'll email and say, can you call me today after 4? You know, and before it was always Jerry and Annette. So because I'm taking so much more on and I have that rapport, it's freeing them up to do the other things, get more buyers, get more listings, do these things, right? So it helps.
Yes.
So I found it very valuable and stuff. So, but what I'll do is when I get back to work, I will send this out to all of you guys, like the actual spreadsheets and things like that, so that you guys have it. Like I said, take what you want from it, change it, whatever. And if there's anything else you guys want, just let me know. And
I just have a question about the schedule. How many sessions are there? There's 9, isn't there?
To be very honest, I took this course, right? It was 18-hour-long classes, but like 4 or 5 of it's an American base, so it was like things they do down there that we don't do.
Yeah.
So I'm actually taking the course and making it in. So like last week and this week I've been doing it as I go. So I think there would probably be about 2 more, and then we're good, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not as much as,
Yeah.
good.
Because like I said, like 4 or 5 of them, and
Yeah.
we can't
And
do
we're
them
scheduled for
anyway,
next
right?
week, aren't we?
Calendar, they
Yes,
came up
it's
with
at
a
2
regular
next week.
one more.
Same day, yeah, because I.
Yes, Wednesday on it
It's
at 2.
supposed to be on the 19th.
There you go, sweetie.
The 19th is supposed to be the last one, but when Aaron sent out the schedule, I noticed that the 19th is not on there.
Yeah.
She could have just forgot.
Because I think you.
No, but from the 19th, I'm actually going away. I'm going to Calgary to drive my car home. So, yeah, and I don't know exactly how long I'll be. So that's why there won't be a course the 19th or the 26th. So it would be probably the following one instead.
And the one that's next Wednesday is not, is at 2 o'clock.
Is that 2 now? Yes. Does that work for everybody? 2 o'clock?
For me,
Is it?
yeah, I don't know about everybody else.
Isn't it better time, like 2, because I can change the time, like it's okay for me?
Not for you.
Because I'm only
The
one.
2 o'clock one?
Yeah.
I'd rather it be 1:30.
You'd rather be
This is
1:30?
noon though, isn't it, right now?
Yeah, but
we're
you can't
going
be
to
changing
jumping to
it.
2? I
No,
can't make
two
it.
It's gotta work for you.
I'm okay either way. There's no problem with me. But
I
if
think there was a
everybody in
course
here
center
center
going
at
on
Well,
here,
we're
and that's
doing
why they
both,
had to
but-
change it till 2.
Yeah, we do both on Tuesdays, but the thing is, not everybody does our prospecting in the morning, so they changed it. So like us here that are taking both, I can come early. What was you guys? I'm not doing my prospecting on your board, I'm not gonna get anywhere.
Oh, I do 9 to 11.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. What about today? Oh, we started at 12, that's right. We started at 12, 12 is good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So does our time work for everybody though? Like morning, like is this a better
Yeah.
time for everybody, or is the afternoon better for everybody else?
What works better for you?
Pretty flexible, as long as I don't have anything else going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
I just
right.
like to know
And
ahead.
1:30 is better for you for that particular class or for it in general?
I
We only
just
have
need
2
to be
more
gone by 2:45 any day.
By 2:45 any day, okay. Oh, so that's why you have 2 and 3 wouldn't work?
No.
And 2 o'clock works better for you? Like
Yeah,
in the
but it doesn't
afternoon?
really matter, like, it's not that big a deal. Noon is better for everybody else.
Okay, what about you, Chris? Like what works better for you anytime?
I'll just work.
You just work around, okay. All right.
We only have
okay,
2 more
so-
though, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, probably 2 more.
So it's only
So what about
2 more.
compromise, 1 o'clock? Is that?
Yeah, that
Yeah, does 1 o'clock work? So I can just go down and check with Aaron, you know what I mean? As long as there's nothing else before that, if that works for everybody, we can do it then.
Okay.
So 1 o'clock on the 12th?
Let me double check with Aaron before you fully confirm. Because I don't want to do and then be like, uh-oh. All right, so just give me a sec here and I'll run down to Aaron and then, all right, well, thanks though, guys.
Thank you, Erin.
No problem.
You do need stuff, and I don't have them ready yet. Because I wanted
Yeah,
to
'cause the
send
12th
it to
you won't
you
show
and
each vote.
to prove them, because
Yeah.
I might be making changes.
There's lots of stuff going on.
I think that's
The
the
office
old
calendar
one.
that needs updating. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
it goes in
Like
update.
stuff like that.
She just changed it again yesterday.
Mine has
So
it
there's
up
5
on my phone and my iPad.
Yes, I would say, yeah.
No.
The one had the-
Not at all.
6 one had.
I have to go to bed really change it.
Well, yeah, like business planning on Friday is
Well,
not
the one
9
that's
till
sold.
12 now.
But the other 5 are all after. It's at 2 o'clock now.
No, it was 1:30.
All 5 of them
It
are
was
at
1:30
4:30.
to,
Okay. Is
it
that
was
your
1:30
one?
this week, 1:30 to 4:30, it's changing everything.
It was originally at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I just haven't
what
done
time is
the
it now?
board package yet because I wanted
1:30 to 4:30 on Friday.
So, yeah, I mean, you could send me some of the work emails.
It doesn't work for me.
I'd rather it be.
Because I was the one that said,
Yeah.
if you're getting everybody to do prospecting 9 till 11,
This is like.
you'll
Oh,
get
is that
nobody
why it
you'll
got
get nobody
changed?
turning up.
Some of them have
10
10.
a week.
Ah.
So,
Well, the question is, would you rather do prospecting, compliance, or would you rather do business planning?
I'll let you
Well,
know.
my process,
It's just a really crazy.
Oh, wait.